we'll start again. So, to recap, so Dad, you haven't seen me do live performance poetry before. You saw me do a lot of performance when I was growing up and when I was an actor. But the last few years when I've been doing this, you've obviously been poorly. And so I'm taking a very big risk in doing this with Dad because this is a poem about you dying. And so I am being brave. And what did you say?
Brave about being grave.
Being brave about being grave. That's right. But what I do want to say, Dad, is that I am really grateful for poetry and this creative expression because I feel like I've been able to have really important conversations with you.
Yeah.
That I wouldn't have been able to have if it wasn't for poetry and that link that's given us. So I'm really grateful for it. Okay, so this, I'm going to try not to cry, but this is called Having ADHD When Your Dad is Dying. So a little bit to know about ADHD is it is a processing disorder. Now, you might say a disorder is also a superpower. It's very importantly a superpower. But it means that the brain can get into overwhelm and you don't know what to filter. And so you end up thinking about everything all at the same time because everything pings at you and you can get really overwhelmed by that. So I'll start again. Having ADHD when your dad is dying. The thing about ADHD that many people don't know is how many internal channels you've got running. For most of my life, I didn't know either. I thought it was normal. Every day is quite literally mental. A mental Spartan's run of overcoming, knocking through layers and layers of multi-track inner voices, intrusive visual imaginings, ruminating, overthinking, a body and mind living in hypervigilance is creative, is exciting, is innovative, is exhausting, is often also not something you want to tell anyone else about. Is it? You recognise this, Dad? No. Like constantly imagining how my dad is going to die. I mean, truly, graphically, in any given moment, I am running through multiple layers of scenario, conversations, outcomes and implications, like I went to Morrison's with him last week. He was knackered, so he stayed in the car, and as I returned, I saw him looking asleep, but instantly imagined, what if he died in Morrison's car park? Oh, Dad. I only popped in for wonky strawberries. Him, dead, still clutching 250p's he'd insisted on giving me. But Dad, really? Dying in Morrison's car park? I'd probably stroke his hair and rest my hand on him, tentatively, imagining him to feel like all the dead cats I've buried. Then I'd put my hand on his shoulder, feel the lack of fat, his body structure warm but very nearly being just bone. Should I call an ambulance? Or maybe my brothers on a group chat? A dad's dead in Morrison's car park, group chat, WhatsApp call, or maybe I should drive him home and pretend he died there. More dignity, less Elvis died on the loo, last breath, bit of sniggery. But if I drive him back, he might slip and fall on me, dad dead face in my chest. I'd be freaking out, it could get a mess, so I'd have to strap his head back to the headrest, use something from the boot, the jump leads, maybe. But what if I got pulled over? It might look like a murder. I'd get in a flap and have to explain my decision-making process, which, to be fair, isn't currently very clear. And then I see a beardy lip tremble, a lung cancer rumble. Dad is still in the jungle. And off we go. Phew. So, not only am I spending quite an excessive amount of time imagining and working through all the different ways my dad might die many times a day, I also spend an excessive amount of time imagining what the dad's died call to my brothers might sound like, if it's me that does that, of course. So, I use Roger Robinson's writing exercise on how to try and say something 20 times without actually saying it, which is perfect for people with ADHD. Should I say, oh no, should I say that? Oh no, should I say that? Okay, so I'm going to mime holding an old-fashioned phone. Hey, Oz, I'm really sorry to say. Hey, Gids, I didn't know who to call first. So, I decided to flip a coin. Hey, bros, I'm leaving a message so you're both here together. It was so quick, I didn't have time to call. He fell over in the garden. I walked in and called, hey, Dad, but it's like last night. He waited for us all to get there. Remember when we were on holiday as kids, he'd just wander off to look at plants. I hear him in the knocking of boats, the air music of sails and rigging. Not posh boats, but scratchy, peely old fishing boats and dinghies. I'm sorry he never got his last trip to Roscoff. He said he didn't need to go, though. He's got it all inside and eats Morrison's individually wrapped pain au chocolats for breakfast. The hospice called. Today was the day. Better get our Breton shirts ready. The salty sea dog, pirate, grandad, the maverick, rules don't apply, wanderer, the starter, collector, doer, pootler, shuffler, sun worshipper, family observer. You know, he always said, I'm just going off to have a look. Over there. Well, he's gone.
Very good, Kate. That was good.
Love you, Dad.
Love you, Kate.
I like making you laugh, Dad.
Yeah, it was funny.
I've always liked making you laugh. It's kind of like a child thing, isn't it? To make their parents laugh.
Yeah.
Or smile.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you approve of that level of humour.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, you know, I've always been realistic about death.
I know.
And still am.
Yeah.
And to the point where I can make, you know, sensible choices
Yeah.
About things. Yeah.
It's really, it's a real gift, Dad, to be able to. I am recording this, so you know I'm still recording it, because I think it's a special moment.
Yeah.
To talk about that. I am really grateful for your openness in dying and living and dying.
Yes.
And being open.
Yes.
but not emotional as well.
Yes. No, no. Thank you, Kev.
Thank you, Pa. I will turn it off now. Pressure's off.